Protests that left devastating consequences for children in the area. Some learners have been able to return back to school, while others are forced to have classes outside. Basic Education Department spokesman Elijah Mhlanga says about 440 million rand is needed to repair and reconstruct the schools. However, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. A group of people are doing everything they can to ensure these learners get the schooling they deserve. And to tell us more, joining us from the Life Legacy Project is Ms. Gugu Vivica Malope. Gugu, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Look, Gugu, it's been months since the protest action that left 24 schools damaged or burned to the ground. Do tell us about the work that you're currently doing to restore the schools.
So what we're currently doing is going around in the community and working with the schools and the local leadership to see what the children need at this point in time and trying to fill the gap and get them the resources that they're needing at this particular point in time.
Now, your project, the Life Legacy Project, began just by a few members that were collecting books to assist the learners. But how has your book campaign fared so far?
The book campaign has actually fared quite well, a few thousand books in the bag, but obviously we do need more because there are a lot of students and there are a lot of grades, quite frankly. So there needs to be a gap that needs to be filled, and it's our responsibility as young people to also look after other young people.
And I mean, besides the books, I mean, issues like the structures that were literally damaged. You are currently in talks with some construction companies. Do tell us more about that. What have you achieved in that department?
So far what we've achieved is looking at a few construction companies and donors and seeing how far they can go, but obviously we do need some help from the local community and leadership of Limpopo and other civil civilians who are willing to help. But the progress so far with them is looking at the schools themselves and the current pilot school that we're working with and seeing the damage that has been done there and also how we can repair and help rebuild the school. And so there has been progress over there. We were there last week, going again this week. And so we're currently just working on the project and helping those schools.
Look, Gugu, a lot of people are asking, but is this not the responsibility of the government? And I mean, you've chipped in there. Have you been working hand in hand with government? Is there any assistance on that front?
The assistance has been lacking, I'll be quite honest on that front, and there needs to be more coalition between the government and our projects. But at the end of the day, we can't sit and fulfill the stereotype of being an entitled youth. We need to start getting involved in being proactive, and that's what the Life Legacy Project is about. It's about paving the way for young people and living a life and that will leave a legacy for education and getting involved as young people. So it's not necessarily taking over the government's job, but it's just youth being very proactive about our own issues as well.
In that, are you saying that the current plans that have been rolled out or taking place, are they not being effective enough? Is that why you feel the need to chip in?
I think we need to have a more sense of urgency. South Africa, to be quite honest, battles with bureaucracy and going through a lot of channels. And at the end of the day, the more time it takes, the more children have to be repeating and have to be failing and the setback that comes with that. And so where we see that gap and that time gap, we'd like to fill that so that people's lives do still go on. And it is impoverished communities, and those communities do need leaders and do need young people to go back and help those communities, and that is what we're doing and encouraging.
Gugu, it's such a great initiative. I mean, I understand you're talking to construction companies, you're collecting books for these children. Now tell us a bit about your pursuit for computers as well as other technological assistance.
I think also what we need to be cognizant of is the changing nature of learning and the involvement of ICT. And so we need to be cognizant of that and also just try and encourage that in these schools. And so it has been quite difficult because these gadgets are expensive and finding donors for those gadgets has been expensive and it has been hard. So we call out on anyone who's willing to help, but we also don't want these students lagging behind, getting to university not knowing how to use a computer, prepare a presentation. And so those kind of skills are needed at a foundational level, and that's what we advocate for as well.
What has been the feedback and reaction from the community? I'm sure they're very happy.
Yes, they are quite happy. It's been quite heartwarming, actually. And the learners themselves, there's a hope that's there. There's a drive that's been put back into the community. And there's that sense of pride and the sense of hope and fulfillment that is coming for the young people. And they do see a future for themselves after what has happened. And so after there's a tragedy, there has to be light at the end of the tunnel, and we're trying to be that.
Absolutely. Gugu, I mean, as a startup NGO, I'm sure you've encountered some challenges. Do tell us what those have been.
Those challenges quite daunting, I must say. But the challenges have really been resources and the muscle and the backing. Because we're new, we don't have an extended reputation, although we have a past project that we've worked on. But it's those kind of things, getting access to people and knocking down on those doors. And us being young as well, it's like you guys are young. Do you know what you're doing? And we are passionate enough to learn along the way, but also know what we're doing and execute these projects well. So those have been the challenges, especially financial muscle and resources to be running up and down the country, seeing what we need to be doing, because we're not in their position, so we can't unfairly represent their challenges and their struggles. We need to be there and see them so that we can be a correct advocate for these children.
You know, Gugu, we believe that this is a great initiative. How do then, and you just spoke about knocking down on doors, how do then people or companies that are interested in assisting your cause get hold of you? Do give us every detail that you can.
Well, how you can get hold of us is at the Life Legacy Project at gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, the Life Legacy Project SA. Send us a message over there and then we'll get back to you as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Gugu,
Thank
for
you for
joining
having
us,
me.
and best of luck with the initiative.
Thank you so much.
All right, and that was Life Legacy Project's Miss Gugu Vivica Malope talking to us about a project that they've started to rebuild some schools out in Vuwani. We're going to take a quick ad break, and after that, the Sports Guru is back with your sports news. Do stay with us.